Welcome to the M2 podcast. This is episode 11 of season 3. I am your host, Michael Anthony. Alongside me is Mr. J.K. Heath, aka Kyle Heath.
Sir. Yes, sir.
This is the show where we basically cover a week in review of all things gaming industry related news. We go through your esports personalities, new and upcoming games, and basically technology and innovation, and just overall gaming industry news. So, Kyle, without further ado, what do you got for us this week, sir?
Oh, you already know we got some stuff. For sure coming out the pipeline. I actually want to double check you real quick because I believe episode 11 was last week. I believe. So
Was it?
I think it was. I'm looking now.
You are right. You're right. We are we're episode 12.
Yeah, episode 12.
Man, weeks are going by quick.
Yeah. And by the way, for those watching, if Mike was frozen there, it's because I had a tab over my Discord when I was checking that. So may have been frozen there for a second, but yeah, we were on season 3, episode 12 this week. Definitely got some stuff to cover. Before we get into that, I always want to know what you've been playing this week, kind of what you've been up to on the gaming side of things.
Oh, you already know. I've been raving about it the last couple of days, I think. I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077. And big hype on it. So I put in about 18 hours in the last 2 weeks. And I only know that because that's what Steam told me. So I'm absolutely in love with this game. Shout out, it's $5 on console for anybody that hasn't played it yet. But I right now the current state of the game, and sure there's some bugs here and there because it was plagued by a lot of bad rep and stuff like that. But I don't regret my purchase. I bought the game full price and I haven't touched it until 2 weeks ago. So even the wait, I feel justified. You know what I mean? I know you beaten and played the game,
Yeah.
so you were pretty excited about it too. But yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. How about yourself?
Geez, I don't even know if I played anything this week, to be honest. I've been doing working on some content, editing some stuff. Been kind of been pretty heavy in that. I don't know if I had time to really play too much. Trying to think, maybe a little Fortnite, a little no build action. I got definitely been playing some of that every now and again. It's a lot of fun. I don't know, Fortnite with no build, it's nice, dude. I think
I still haven't played it. Fortunately,
oh man, try it out. Gotta try it out.
Yeah,
Mike.
I think I need to. I know a good handful of people from a couple of different Discords where they just load it up and they add everybody and they're just we need 3.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna jump in one of these days and then give it a go.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot of fun, man. It's a good take on Fortnite. Definitely. So yeah, I mean that's I don't know, not too much else. I've also of course been paying attention to the news this week. I think both of us have. Got a decent amount of stories to cover today. A couple of topics I really have been wanting to talk about at some point, so finally get to cover some of that today.
Yep.
But I want to start things off with a little surprise this week. Certainly a surprise for me. And that is kind of the state of the consoles right now. If you don't know, the Xbox Series X and the PS5 launched end of 2020, and ever since then, it has been almost impossible to get one unless you are really paying attention to the drops that are announced. Thankfully announced ahead of time, however, it's still, especially on the PS5. I mean, the PlayStation side, it's you have to buy that thing within the first maybe minute if you're lucky.
Yeah, some people are trying to make bots to get those a year ago. For the scalpers and stuff. It's crazy.
And some of those, they've I mean, some of those bots have been successful too, so it's it's hard, man. Nevertheless, Series X, after I don't know what, a year and a half, I guess, of some change maybe of of making it hard to get, has finally been easier to buy. I found this article on The Verge. Everywhere is pretty much reporting it because I think everyone kind of saw on the last Series X drop that when the console dropped, it didn't sell out right away, and it stayed around at least for a couple of days. You may still be able to find some retail stores at the time of this recording, but the inventory of the console has normalized on certain retailers. The Series X, one of the most challenging to find gaming gadgets since the late 2020 release, according to The Verge, has been a little easier to get a hold of than a PS5. Getting one has all but required keeping track of restocks from multiple retailers on a day-to-day basis. lest you turn to purchasing one from price gougers, which I think a lot of people have done. But now it seems as though, especially on retailers such as Walmart, Newegg, and even Amazon for a little bit, the Series X was very easy to get a hold of retail price. I know
Yeah.
it for me, I first saw this on Amazon whenever I logged on every now and again. I'll check and see if the consoles are available. And I know I also keep Twitter notifications open for tracking accounts that'll tweet out whenever something immediately is back in stock. I certainly noticed that with the Xbox Series X had a lot of restocks recently, and when I checked,
Yeah, they have.
when I checked Amazon, sure enough, it was like the day after they did a restock, like at least 24 hours after it was Xbox Series X was still available for $499. The Series S, on the other hand, that's always, I think for a long time, that's been kind of leveled out, and it's certainly not hard to get one of those. Series X is the outlier, and rightfully so. It is definitely the more powerful console. But especially after seeing Amazon, I checked Walmart, the same thing. Even Best Buy for a little bit of time, I think, had decent stock. Newegg as well. They're all staying in stock, which it's good to see. It's exciting for me, I think, because I definitely want to get my hands on a PS5 at some point this year. So this kind of, even though it's not the PS5, it gives me hope that the restocks are kind of starting to actually level things out, and we're finally getting to a place where these are becoming reasonable to get again. Because I mean, and in the past too with consoles, certainly consoles like Nintendo's consoles like the Wii was very challenging to get. Certainly not at this level, but it was definitely hard to get when it first came out. And shout out to my dad. He ended up getting me a Wii when I was like, I don't even know how old I was. He ended up going to Best Buy at like 6 a.m. waiting in line. He was like one of the first 10. He was able to get a hold of a Wii when it was like really hard to get. So shout out to dad for that. But
my dad would never.
Yeah, but that was a great time. He got me the Wii. I think they even got me a GameCube when I was like 6 or something like that. Like,
yeah,
that'll probably date me, but it's yeah, it's always been kind of there. It's kind of, especially when they first come out, it's kind of hard to get your hands on one. But this has certainly been the worst of that between the pandemic and just the overall supply chain shortage. So I don't know. Are you? Does this excite you, Mike? Is this like, does this get you going, man? Like, how do you feel about
man.
this?
Why would this not get me going, dude? Like, first, right off the bat, consoles are coming back. They're going to be affordable, right? So you don't have to get like the resale prices that are like twice the amount. The stock's coming back. You know what I mean? Like, people can finally go get the consoles that they've been waiting for the last 2 years when it's been basically all on hold. And not only that, but like GPU prices are starting to come down. There's a lot of stuff going on in like the crypto industry right now. I shouldn't say industry, like the crypto space. With like they're not going to need GPUs as much as they did previously. So like they're going to be more GPUs on the market for resale. The prices are going to drop. It's like we're going to go back to like the perfect time where things are just becoming affordable again for gamers. And this is just the start, right? So it's like stock is starting to get normal, things are starting to show up. And I see it too, man. Like I do check out like Target and Walmart. I do my favorite thing to do, and I don't even like really shop there, but when I do go with people to like Target or Walmart, for whatever reason, even if I don't need anything, I'm just like, let's go check out the electronics section. And I just do like a quick loop around. I'm just like, is there anything here that I just like don't know about? And yeah, it's just like there's Xboxes there. They had the whole rack filled up with Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Like completely full. And I thought that was pretty. I was like, dang, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Almost back in business. So yeah, it's exciting, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah. I mean, the article says the past 6 months we've seen positive shift in availability for in-demand gaming tech. Nintendo Switch with the OLED is easy to purchase. Kind of like you were saying. Even the regular Switch and the OLED, the updated display, it's certainly easy to find. This says here it's not entirely uncommon to see the Xbox Series S selling for as much as $50 off. Kind of blows my mind. I guess there's definitely a lot of those in the wild if they're already discounting them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you made an interesting point too about GPUs. That's certainly something that I knew about and just completely forgot. Like that's we're starting to see those prices drop dramatically, and a lot of them are in stock. I mean, granted, the price is still over MSRP, but it's certainly easier to get now for a lot of those cards, which is also great to see. And that's a good point about crypto. As they switch away from GPU mining, it's gonna make certainly free up the market more. So
It really will. It's
it's
definitely gonna it's gonna reduce the demand and ultimately the price.
oh
So
yeah.
that's gonna be pretty cool. I still think, man, I'll tell you, I think I bought and built my PC at the perfect time. Like
Mm.
right when the 3000 cards came out and right before everything in the world shut down.
Yeah.
It was like I got all top of the line stuff before it got too expensive and everybody was distracted with like the new shiny stuff. So I
Yeah.
think I think there's been rumors, right? So like we'll just do like a quick side on this, like with the GPUs. Rumors that Nvidia's 4000 cards are going to be announced at some point this year, is what
Mhm.
I've heard.
Yeah, I would agree
And
with
if
that.
that happens, then when the new series comes out, I mean, the 3000 cards are going to drop.
Yeah,
2000 cards are going to drop. So it's
quite
going to be
possibly. I'll certainly
might be.
we'll have to keep an eye on the market, I think. But like to that point,
Oh yeah.
too, I've also seen like especially when the GPUs like spiked real bad and it was hard to get 30 series. I mean, there was even like 1080 Ti's selling for ridiculous prices on
Oh.
eBay. Like, and that's
I
two
saw,
generations back. Like,
yeah. Well, 1080 Ti was keeping up, like it was higher than the 2000 cards. I think it was like
yeah,
it's more readily available than the 2080s,
yeah,
but it was still selling for about the same price. It was like I think I saw one like $1,600
it's crazy,
a
dude.
couple of times, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's like you've been using it for 2 years, $1,600.
I know it's like you could rip out your car, get the same price, but then good luck getting something better. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's. I mean, at this point, I'm waiting to see what the 40 series has to offer because I know certainly for me, I've been starting to. I'm like finally starting to see like the wear on my PC. So it's like I'm really like, especially over the next year, gonna be keeping an eye on things and see
Yeah.
how like the market is. And I don't know. I'm definitely I think gonna be due for an upgrade in the next year or so. Just because I think it'll be 5 years. I think I've had my PC this year. So I'm definitely starting to see the wear on that. But
Yeah. I think I'm sitting about 3 or 4. So there's no real need for me to upgrade yet. But if I do upgrade, it's gonna be the GPU for sure.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Because for me, like my hardware, especially my CPU and my motherboard, are so like old at this point. It's like if I got a new GPU, I'd have to just get a new everything except for like the hard drives and the RAM. Like I'd probably keep that, but everything else is gonna have to go up. So we'll
Yeah,
see,
you're
man.
using AMD, right?
I am. Yeah, I'm using the
Okay.
Ryzen Gen 1. Like
Yeah.
Gen 1 Ryzen. Zen 1.
We got to get you up to Ryzen 7 at least.
I need like the new Gen 4 is probably gonna be out by the time I upgrade. Gen 5 or something. We'll see, man. But yeah.
Okay.
Good to see the consoles coming back, at least one of them. So that's a good sign, I think,
Mhm.
of what we're gonna see the rest of the year.
Yeah, only a matter of time until Sony is back to normal and all the Sony like legacy owners, I want to call them, like the fanboys. I mean, I know they're going to be excited. Readily available PS5 you can get for normal prices now instead of having to
Yeah,
overpay.
yeah,
So,
and I think these consoles will last too. It's not just gonna be like they're
oh,
not just gonna come out
yeah.
with a new console next year. So still be a great time to buy.
Yeah, for sure. These consoles are definitely going to last longer. The hardware is just so much better and it's way easier to update the software now than it
Yeah,
was in the past.
yeah. And one more quick side note before we move on. Also, with like if you've paid attention to consoles at the start of their life cycle towards the end of their life cycle, like you compare at least the amount of power they can push out of the machine from like
Yeah.
because when you first like when the PS4 first launched, it's like okay, cool, the games are good and everything, but like when you played a game at the end of PS4's life cycle, like Last of Us Part 2, like they pushed graphically like everything you could possibly get out of the PS4 into that game, and it really
Oh yeah.
showed, and it looked great. Like the games looked so good towards the end of PS4's life cycle. So it's kind of the same thing with every console. Like PS3 was
Yeah.
sort of the same. Like the peak at the end of the PS3 was like the graphics were just out of this world because they could just push that hardware and they learned it and just extracted every ounce out of it. So
Yeah,
it's gonna
they
be
know
the
where
same thing for
they know
PS5.
where if they go too far it'll break.
Yeah,
So they're
exactly.
just like take it right to the edge.
They know how to optimize it, man.
Mhm.
We're gonna see it with the new
Cool.
ones. Definitely see it. Um, Moving on, the next article. I certainly have been wanting to talk about this. I think I've heard a lot about it recently. And you linked the article within the Discord
Yeah.
channel. But it's about Twitch streamers struggling with trauma dumping from their viewers. Um, it's a very good article. I suggest you go and read it. It's from Input Mag. It's really good. It's got a little link to it, but I think it does a really good job kind of explaining what trauma dumping is and kind of the situation behind it. Uh, even pulls stories from some streamers that are affected by it. But overall, just to kind of try to sum it up the best I can, kind of the main thing about I guess the dynamic of trauma dumping is if you're a streamer and you have a viewer that comes in and doesn't really contribute to the conversation of the stream or kind of doesn't really talk with anyone. They just come to kind of talk about their problems and they just kind of talk to the streamer about like, oh, I got all this stuff going on in my life. Here's all this stuff. And there's a couple streamers in this article that mentioned, it's one streamer in particular mentioned that that it got so bad to the point where they were streaming. I don't want to get this streamer's name wrong. I think it was Toph. That's how you say it. The streamer mentioned, there was a viewer that came into their chat, and for I guess like about 11 minutes, it was kind of like an emotional purge. They described it from the viewer, and they kind of just talked about an abusive relationship and a lot of really heavy topics, and it certainly swayed the chat of the stream. And of course, most members of the chat, super empathetic, and they're showing their support and kind of sharing stories. And it was something similar had happened to the streamer, and they used streaming as sort of an escape, and they felt like in that moment it was very overwhelming. They just couldn't. They didn't want to have to deal with that as a streamer and kind of like think about those emotions again, which rightfully so. So they ended up into streaming early. They ended the stream early, kind of canceled the stream for the day, just kind of took the rest of the day. It's unfortunate. It's certainly something I think I've seen at least minor cases every now and again. When I'm lurking in streams, and it's I think it's okay. I think every now and again, especially like if you know the person really well, or you can like read the room at least and just be like, is this something appropriate to talk about? There's certainly cases where I deem it as kind of a safe thing to do, but for the most part, I just especially myself, I try to avoid any talking about anything heavy in anyone's Twitch stream. And just talk with friends or anyone else, or therapy, even if that's an option you have. There's certainly outlets to kind of talk about stuff like that. And I don't know, Twitch stream may not be the best place, I guess, is what the article's kind of getting at. And I guess I could agree with that as well. It's you want to avoid going too far with things. And I know you kind of found this article, Mike. I know I don't know how much you've read into a lot of this stuff and seen a lot of the stories, but I don't know, what are your kind of thoughts, I guess, on like trauma dumping and kind of like putting all this kind of all this heavy stuff on a streamer?
Oh man, I got a lot of comments. so I don't want to derail us from gaming topics, because this is definitely like, this is in the gaming industry. It also just has to do with everyday technology being like an intricate part, and like, I don't want to use the term invasive, but it's like it's so a part of society now that you have to address it. So there's like a parasocial relationship going on when it comes to social media, where people that are your followers or audience members or fans or anything like that, whatever you want to call them, think that they actually know that person, like literally, like know them in a personal manner to where they can feel like they can share these things. The problem is like that person can't help you. Like, they don't really know you. It's a one-sided relationship.
Right.
So, I mean, I see that, like, I've been on Twitch for a long time, man, and Twitch like only recently became bigger and bigger, especially after like we always go back to Ninja and Drake like popping off. Like, that's what put kind of Twitch in the household name category, and because of that, more and more people, and young people in particular, are switching over to the platform, checking it out for the first time, coming across streams for the first time, and they're sharing like serious issues that they have in their life. And it's tough, man. Like, for me personally, I've had people do trauma dumping in me in like everyday life. And if you get too much of it, it can really mess you up. Like, you have to go reset your mental. Like, I think his name might be pronounced Toph, Toph,
Yeah.
but it could be Tope.
Yeah. Sorry if I
Yeah,
pronounced that wrong, but yeah, it's,
yeah. Either one, either one. I doubt he'll be upset about that, but just in general, it's like, yeah, you gotta get like that can really affect you, and
mhm,
you might need to do like a serious step back to try to figure out like how to deal with it yourself.
right.
But therapy is definitely the option if like you feel like you gotta talk to people about it. A public forum that's basically like a radio or TV broadcast, even though it's interactive, probably not the place to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, to back to your point about, the parasocial relationship. I mean, Ludwig. I mean, if no one's seen the Ludwig video on that,
Oh,
I'd recommend you go and watch it because
it's
it's very
perfect.
true, and it's like, it kind of changed my outlook on it too. Like after I watched that, I was like, I mean, ever since then, I've just kind of been like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Like I don't like
Yeah,
there's like
yeah.
you certainly shouldn't go and like these big streamers channel and like certainly don't donate money and like do anything like trauma dumping or trying to like get
Oh
attention or
yeah.
anything like that. It's just like in the day, it's entertainment. I enjoy it. I watch it, and that's it. I don't try it. I
Have
certainly don't try and get like super close with streamers. It's kind of is what it is.
Have you seen like so I've been in like Twitch chats before. Dr. Disrespect absolutely comes to mind right off the bat. Like when people donate to these like huge streamers and then they do trauma dumping of like, oh yeah, but like something horrific happens in their life, like they lose a loved one
Yeah.
or something, and they feel the need to donate and bring it up.
Yeah.
But it's not brought up in a way that's like, because there's a couple of ways I've seen people do it, but they do it like an acceptable manner where they're like, "Hey, you've really helped me get through a tough time," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I guess that's acceptable. I mean,
Yeah.
Summit's a good example. He got a donation for that, and his response immediately was just like, "I didn't help you." He's like,
Yeah.
"You did that on your own." Like, gives the power back to the viewer because
Yeah.
yeah, it's parasocial, man. It's like the Lovewood video.
Yeah.
He literally looks at the camera and goes, "I am not your friend."
Yeah. Straight up. I mean, people need to hear that. But like,
They do.
I mean, to your point,
Yeah.
like, I mean, Summit's a great example of someone who handles it well. Kind of just being like, he does. Like, he always does a
Yeah.
good job of just like showing support and like kind of setting people straight. But I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's a time and place for it. There's a room that needs to be read. Like, if it's obviously not the time
Yes.
or there's other things going on, you need to understand that and move on and just figure it out. It's kind of like the thing. It's not a certainly something. Certainly something, I would personally just try to avoid, kind of, trauma dumping in general, but to each their own.
Talk
Read the
yeah.
room, talk to someone, talk to loved ones, talk to therapists if you need to. There's tons of people out there that would be more than willing to help, and streamers certainly I
Facts.
don't fall, I don't put in that same vein. So
And there are free outlets everywhere. You just gotta search for it.
oh yeah,
Like when it comes to therapy, like they're free places to go. So don't use money as an excuse.
yeah, yeah.
But
There's most I find that a lot of doctors and stuff are willing to work with people too about how to how to try and either do like some sort of help in some way with funding if that's really an issue.
Mhm. Yeah,
There's tons of stuff out there, so definitely do
payment
your
plan even.
research. Mm.
Yes. But back to the gaming.
But yeah, yeah. Anyways, enough of that. I feel like it was something I did want to touch on though, so I'm glad you brought it up, Mike,
Yeah.
because I think it's definitely something worth mentioning. So definitely give the article a read if you have time. Over at Info
Yeah,
Mag.
it's definitely worth it.
Leave the link in the description as always. So give it a read. Anyways, back to the fun of the games
Yes.
with
What you got?
with a
Oh
little
yes, this is the
indie
best.
spotlight this week. Nintendo did an indie spotlight for the Switch. We love indie games here at the M2 podcast.
Big fan.
So I will kind of show some snippets of some of the games that were shown. The indie spotlight. We start off with what seems like quite a banger game. It's kind of a spaceship. I know we were talking about it's called Sword Ship. It's kind of a first thing that came to mind was kind of like a Galaga style like
Yes.
kind of game where you're trying to
Fixed shooter is what they're
fix
called.
shooter. It's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fixed shooter, platformer, fixed shooter,
Yeah.
arcade game.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're just this little ship and you're trying to dodge these missiles and these like laser beams trying to take you out and whatnot. And it looks like you can kind of upgrade your ship as you go, so it's kind of Seems like a fun little. It seems like this on a Switch would work really well. So it seems like a
Yeah.
perfect fit for like a Switch because it's just kind of one little screen and you don't have.
You,
There's certainly a lot to keep up with, but it's fun.
I just had an idea. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Have you ever watched the movies Mad Max, specifically Fury Road?
I've seen the trailers. I never did see the movie. So
Okay, well, everybody knows this like huge scene where like the main characters are just rushing in their car trying to get away in this desert, and then everybody's around them like chasing them, and they're all just going in a straight line in a flat desert, and they're just like trying to board it, trying to jump on and like whatever. That's what that kind of looked like. They're just fighting off like hordes of enemies.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it certainly has those kind of vibes. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. That was kind of the first game they showed. I think in total there was like maybe like 5 or 6 games they showed. That was only 15 minutes, but the next game they showed kind of reminded me of like those old like Nintendo 64 kind of like Donkey Kong Country like kind of
Hmm.
graphics. And it's a Super Kiwi 64. You're this little bird. You get these wings and kind of like fly around and you collect like these coins and I guess you just kind of go between each levels. Looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a nice kind of just retro style game, like retro kind of 3D game.
Give me Banjo Kazooie vibes.
Yeah, that too. It's kind of like in that vein, you know. Looks like a lot of fun. It looks very. I don't know. It just the second I saw it, it just gave me nostalgia glasses. So like that, I feel like that's enough that I'd like want to try this out at some point. Super Kiwi
Yeah.
64. I mean, just look at the little guy. Look at him.
Yeah, it just looks like a fun. It looks like the perfect Nintendo game. That's the
Yeah,
only way to say it.
does yeah,
Like that's quintessential Nintendo right there, and it's
yeah,
indie, so that's pretty sick.
yeah. Moonstone Island is kind of the next game that they showed. It reminds me of Stardew Valley mixed with like I don't know, like a turn-based fighter, like Final Fantasy mixed with kind of a Minecraft, kind of resource collection. Seems like to be kind of
Like
an all-in-one package there. Um,
early like Zelda running
yeah,
around with Link, like
yeah,
exploring the world. It's pretty cool.
yeah. Seems like a great art style. It's definitely Stardew's that immediately came to mind, but like the grass kind of reminds me of Pokemon too. It's kind of that same like style. So
Yeah, it
a
does.
Pokemon kind of Stardew type
Like
of
Game Boy style.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Moonstone Island. They do talk about when these games come out, they are fairly different. I know a lot of them was just like either just a generic 2022. It's coming out some point this year. Some do get a little more specific. Like for example, this game right here, nice little platformer, Source of Madness coming out in May. This is a just kind of like a platformer. It kind of reminds me of kind of like an Ori style of platformer.
Yes.
You're kind of just fighting enemies. I the kind of selling point of this game and kind of what sets it apart is that all the monsters are procedurally generated. So there's like I think a million different monsters you can end up facing, in some form or another. I'm sure a lot of those changes are probably fairly minor, but nevertheless, looks like a very interesting little game. There's even skill trees. It's kind of like it looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna be honest.
It looks like it's really in depth for an indie game.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot put into this game. I mean, you can still tell it's indie because it looks. I mean, it looks like a platform. Like it looks like just missing that 3D element that a lot of AAA titles have. But I mean, everything else, like the core mechanics, like, dude, this thing looks amazing.
so good.
Like the story looks like it can hook you too.
Yeah, that's coming out May
So
11th. It's
yeah,
gonna be
baby,
coming out on everything: Steam, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, on everything. But
that's gonna
yeah,
be
the
cool.
fact that it's on Switch though, like that mobile aspect, it's gonna be pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing is kind of next game they showed is kind of like a little puzzle. I think it's a little to the left. That's the name of the game. But it's essentially just like a puzzle game based like in a home essentially. So like a lot of household items are kind of scattered around. You have to sort them and again they show these little puzzles with like I guess the bread kind of tags.
Yeah.
It's really cool, like cups and stuff, like old video game cartridges. You're just kind of sorting and it's I guess a little like if you want like it almost seems kind of like a kid's game, kind of just a little like puzzle, like give it to your kid and they can solve these little like puzzles with it. But looks kind of I like the art style. It looks very it looks like almost like something I'd play to just pass the time. If I'm just like at the airport or
Yeah.
something, I just want to like pass the time with some sorting game. I can do this. And there's a cat even that can mess up your sorting. There you go.
That's,
All
that's
the things
hilarious.
that make a cat annoying are in this game. Not want to own a cat is in this, but a little to the left. See, look at that. They even have the human cat in the ad at the end there. Coming in August, the Switch. Next game seems very interesting. It seems like a kind of like
Godzilla.
a god. Yeah, it almost brings that Godzilla like big monster kind of vibes. But also the art style is very like kind of old school. But see, there's boss fights. There's a lot of there's at one point where yeah, kind of like this where you're like the big kind of like monster walking through a city and like just destroying everything and trying to fight these big monsters. Big Apocalypse coming out on June 2nd. Not too much gameplay, I don't think they showed in that one. It's kind of unfortunate. But Mike, I think your favorite game's here. I'm gonna say it.
Beer brewing simulator.
Yeah, there is a simulator for everything nowadays, and beer brewing
really
is right around the corner. Beer brewing simulator, Brewmaster, is in development, coming for the Switch later this year. I don't know. It seems interesting. I mean, I guess if you want to learn any, I'm assuming it's fairly accurate. I mean, I've never brewed before, so I don't know, but certainly seems like there's a lot to do nonetheless. So if you're looking to brew some different malts and whatnot, I guess you can play this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a chemistry set.
Yeah, right.
It really is. I mean,
point,
yeah, it's like a backyard's like garage style like chemistry set because it's for beer, but it's obviously in a proper kitchen in the game. So
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, all this stuff looks, when they're like breaking down everything from like taste to like
Oh
the
yeah.
ABV and like all the notes and stuff, I thought that was kind of funny. They really get detailed with it. So who knows, man? If you want to brew beer someday, I mean, hey, later this year you can pick up this game. Maybe you can learn a thing or two, you know?
Hey, what about this? What if like real breweries? I actually know a guy that owns one. I'll talk to him about this and just be like, why don't you try to brew on this, do the proper ingredients, and then make it in real life and see if it's accurate.
Try to see if it's 1-to-1. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, see if it's 1-to-1. Why not?
That'd be some killer content, not gonna lie. If someone wanted to make content out of that.
That's actually he's been looking to make new content. So
There
I
you
mean, I'll make sure to get the shout out to you.
go.
I actually see him in 2 days.
There you
So
go.
I'll see him
I
this
mean,
weekend.
hey, it could be good from a marketing standpoint. Just saying, like if you like made a funny video that like promoted
Oh
like
yeah.
beer, and if it sucked, you could just be like, "Hey, we have good beer," and then just like show the good stuff and promote it. Like, don't try this, man. There's a lot you could do with that. There's also, it seems to be a lot you could do with the card game genre because yet another twist, Four Tales. This is a twist on the card fighting genre. Essentially, it seems like your basic card fighting game, but the twist here and the selling point is that you're building a narrative and a story as you play the game. So there's like each card kind of has images of different like thieves, and like if you're in like a jail, there's like bars and stuff, and kind of build out a narrative as you play and as you fight and take out cards. It seems like an interesting take. I personally myself, I don't think I've played too many card games. It's not really been my genre. If I'm being honest, but if you're into card games, this is certainly one to check out because they certainly switch things up. Seems to be a Switch. This is on PC too, so Four Tales is the name of this one, coming out summer this year. You played many of the card games, Mike?
I was never a big fan, to be
Yeah.
honest. But I do know tons of people that love Magic the Gathering. They play Hearthstone. Is Hearthstone a card game?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. They play a whole bunch of different games, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna be looking at this with interest.
Yeah. Just the whole narrative thing, I think, is a draw even for me. But the last game, which seems to be coming out on PC and Switch,
Yeah.
is I don't know
Mouse
if that's-
Simulator.
Yeah, The Spirit and the Mouse is the name of this one. It's you literally play as a mouse. I don't really know what the sole objective of the game is, but I think just the cool part is your mouse, and you just transport through electrical boxes somehow. I don't know. You see some interesting characters too, and some different puzzle solving stuff. I don't know. It seems like a fun little kids game. I don't like like I look at this and I'm just like, even I would play it though. It's like seems to be fairly
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, this is definitely a game that I think would be fun to play. See, like I played Man Eater, and that was one of the best games I've played in a long time, and that was a shark simulator.
Yeah,
So it's like I think this could be a lot of fun too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It
I'll give it
just
a shot.
I like the art style. I like where they're going with it. It's supposed to be coming out. They don't have it again. 2022 kind of generic release,
Hmm.
um, but definitely I think one that may be worth checking out because I mean it's also on PC too. So if you don't have a Switch or you don't feel like buying it on the Switch, coming out on PC. And that was the end of the Nintendo Life Indie Spotlight that they showed. All the upcoming indie games for the Switch. Some exclusive, some not. Probably most of them not. Probably a lot coming on PC too, at least. But nevertheless, Switch is getting Switch is expanding their library some way. So
Yeah,
good to see.
yeah, it's really good to see. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, most indie games, you can guaranteed to get a complete game, if you actually buy an indie game.
Yeah, they have to.
Because if they don't, I mean, it's just done. Like,
Yeah, everything's done. So
yeah.
unless you're No Man's Sky, then you,
Then you could recover. There's a couple.
yeah.
There's a couple
Talk about a
instances.
recovery though.
Oh,
Heck,
for sure.
jeez.
There
Yeah.
there are those couple of instances. But anyway, moving on to our next story, one that I'm certainly excited for. Remedy and Rockstar Games announces that Max Payne 1 and 2 Remake is coming out for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Max Payne is back, baby. It's returning.
I know you're so hyped about it too.
Dude, I will tell you right now, many years ago, I streamed on Twitch, and some of the games I went through were Max Payne 1 and 2. And I must say, some of my favorite games, even like for the old kind of like even though they're older games, like the story still holds up so well in each of them, at least my opinion. And then I played Max Payne 3 after that. I'm fully convinced that Max Payne 3 was just a playtest for GTA and how the shooting was going to work in that game. Because, I mean, the shooting works very well in Max Payne 3, but it's like you're playing GTA. It's like you're playing GTA 5. It's like just put me in GTA 5. That's, yeah. So, all three of the games are fantastic though, so I'm really curious to see what their take is going to be on the 1 and 2 remakes. I'm hoping they keep a kind of a similar style in the shooting, but of course make it find a way to make it better. But nevertheless, I mean, it was announced this week through Remedy's blog post, and all the other news articles picked it up that Remedy is working with Rockstar again to remake the first two games, and I'm beyond excited for this, man. Like, I don't know. There's no like, I don't think there's many specific details, at least not yet, of like how the games are going to play out. But I mean, Rockstar did a good job helping out with the third one, so I have nothing but high hopes. I don't know. Did you play any of the Max Payne's, Mike?
I played a little bit of it, but you gotta remember, Max Payne was coming out at like Halo was a thing. So like beginning of Halo and Halo 1 and Halo 2.
Yeah,
That's like all I was playing. Like literally it.
fair,
So
fair.
um I played a couple of like I think a couple of missions on Max Payne, and I remember it being good. I was like, oh, this is cool, but I didn't own it. It
Yeah.
was at like a buddy's place, so but
Um,
with how excited you are, I mean, I when you're excited, I'm like, it's got to be good. This man loves the stories. So
for sure, man, for sure. I mean, it's also worth mentioning too that Remedy, and they even mentioned in the article, Remedy released Control, which I thought was great, like mechanically and just the gameplay in general was fantastic. Ended up winning a game award, I think.
oh,
Yeah, it was Game of the Year 2019 was Control. And like that was such a good game, and apparently the same engine they utilize in Control, they're utilizing for the Alan Wake 2 sequel. To the first one, which Alan Wake 2 I'm very excited for, because I played through Alan Wake last year, and I did a review on that, by the way, on my channel. Just check it out. But it was a very good game, and I very much enjoyed the story aspect of Alan Wake. So the fact that they're remaking that, it seems like they kind of have like a twist on it too, kind of a zombie. It's what seemed like a zombie twist from the teaser. So I'm curious to see what they're doing with that. think it's supposed to come out 2023, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, I really love what they've done with kind of new IP, and they are certainly going back to some of the older IP, which I think Max Payne 1 and 2 are some of those games that I think like they deserve a remake. So I'm certainly not upset that they're not like focusing on new IP and they're coming back to this and giving it another shot. And who knows, it may
Yeah, I
change the
mean,
story up a little bit. I don't know, it's a remake, right? So I don't know.
yeah, yeah, they definitely should. Um, yeah, Alan Wake 2 comes out in 2023. So,
Yeah,
like you said, yeah, I mean, these are the games that I've always wanted to play. I just never got a chance to play,
yeah.
um, for whatever reason. But
Oh yeah.
y- your excitement inspires me.
I mean, it's definitely worth checking out when it drops. I don't know. I'd probably think it like 2024, 2025 is probably when we'll see these games, but still.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, Unreal Engine 5, Mike. What if they used it? I mean,
Oh
what if?
yeah.
I don't. They're probably not going to because they're gonna end up using their own like proprietary control engine. But I mean, could you imagine if they just decided, well, let's just use Unreal 5?
Dude, I can't wait until we get to Unreal 5, man. Like,
Oh,
it's gonna be so good to see that. It's
dude.
incredible so far.
Oh
Um,
yeah. We have a whole
it might be
story on
too
that, Mike.
real.
We have a whole story on it, Mike. Get to it. But yeah, uh,
Teaser.
Brian Altano's Mario. IGN just out here with the weird like autoplay videos.
Yeah, don't get me started.
But yeah, super
Gotta
excited
get
for
that ad
this.
revenue.
Super excited for this. Yeah, gotta do it somehow,
Hmm.
right? Anyways, moving on to our next story. Activision Blizzard. Kind of a good and
Yeah,
kind of like a weird, kind of sour aftertaste, but nevertheless, Activision
and
Blizzard is giving 1,000 game testers full-time jobs and pay bumps, nearly 1,100 to be exact. Um, this is across Activision, both kind of like a lot of the Activision studios as well as Blizzard as a whole. It's great to see, right? I mean, they're finally giving, you know, I think certainly testing in QA is something the gaming industry needs a lot of in a lot of different
desperately.
in a lot of different games, right? I mean, we want to put out good products. This is the one of the most crucial steps in putting out a good product. So definitely glad that Activision Blizzard's kind of doing this. I know this I pulled this article from The Verge. There's also a link to another article within this about Epic Games doing a similar thing back in February where they were giving, I think it was like 600. It wasn't as many, but they were certainly giving a lot more full-time positions to QAs as well. It's great to see. It's good overall to see. The original article from this came from Jason Schreier and I believe another writer over at the Bloomberg. They kind of did a joint article about this, and of course everyone else picked it up, and it's great to see. However, there is kind of a weird like kind of bleh, like aftertaste, like I mentioned. Unfortunately, Raven QA, the original studio that started to unionize because QAs were being treated unfairly,
Yes.
they unfortunately are not seeing the benefits of the pay bump as well as the just the overall full-time aspect that Blizzard and a lot of the other Activision studios are seeing, and it's solely because they did unionize. At least that's what they've stated. At least the spokesperson for Activision Blizzard has stated. The fact that Ravens QA team unionized, it deems them there's no legal way for them to offer them the full-time positions as well as the benefits. But it just stinks. Like there's nothing else I really can say. It's like I certainly don't know like, labor laws or anything, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some validity to that, but at the same time, like
Yeah.
I just wish they would find a way to make it work. Like these people really like they really put forth the effort to try. Yeah, I mean, they went as far as unionize to try and like see some change. So the fact that the QA industry is starting to see change on Activision Blizzard, but they're not seeing any of that is just, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. I mean, this is actually coming on the heels of the Microsoft acquisition too.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that has anything to do with it, but at the same time, we're hearing reports that like Microsoft and Microsoft Studios doesn't like giving people full-time jobs due to uh saving money by not giving the full-time benefits that usually come with a full-time job. I think that are required by law. Uh but or the National Labor Relations Act. But yeah, I don't think either one of us are really qualified to talk about union stuff. It's
Yeah,
just all
that's
we can really say is like, kind of sucks.
yes. I mean,
You're not getting paid the same because you
I know.
unionize. I don't know how that's
Yeah,
fair, but
yeah. I don't get it either,
hopefully,
but I mean, if you want to go read the article, by all means, we always have in the description of the YouTube video. You can go read
yep.
more up on it, but yeah,
Bloomberg, The Verge.
but
Yeah.
and Mike and I both are not legal attorneys or anything, so I have no
Nope.
idea.
We're just guys that love technology,
Yeah.
really, and
So
gaming.
great to see that QAs across the industry have, especially in the
Yeah.
recent months, been seeing a turnaround in their treatment. So love to see that.
Yep. And 1,100 temporary game testers going to full time. That's insane.
Telling you, man.
Insane numbers.
Oh,
$20 minimum an hour. How much is that a year? Let's find out.
it's a
This
lot.
is
I'll tell you that.
20 times 40, right? It's $800 a week. And then
Yeah.
times 52, $41,600. So you're making at least $4,200 because you get like a bonus that's an extra paycheck. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a lot of people.
A lot
That's
of
a lot of
people,
people.
a lot of money. Love to see him, man. Love to see the like game testers, man. Like just being a QA. It's one of the most important things about releasing a good product, making sure it works. And a lot of
Yeah.
studios
Just listen to
have-
them,
a lot,
please.
a lot of studios just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's rather unfortunate, and it shows, man. It shows.
I think we're at the breaking point, though. I gotta believe we're at the breaking point.
I try to believe too. Yeah.
I think, man, like the consecutive, like, think about this, okay? So, I'm gonna just name games that released chronological order, okay? Anthem,
Yeah.
right? EA, that was like a broken mess too, and it was highly monetized. Then the next game was Cyberpunk 2077, which we mentioned early in the podcast. That was unplayable. It's so unplayable that PlayStation took it off its store and issued refunds.
Yeah.
It was bad. Then we got Battlefield 2042, right? A lot of people forget about that. Nobody's playing that game. That's like less than 2,000 people
It's
concurrent.
real
It's
bad.
bad. And Halo Infinite. So it's like, how many AAA studios can you keep releasing unfinished products until the overall consumers are just fed up? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because to start with, right? You're like, Madden fans are PO'd too. Don't like they're upset, but like it's still like it hits like one little section of gamers, you know? Dang, it's like, and then they came after me, that kind of thing. Like people getting taken out left and right. That's I'm not gonna make that comparison. That's ridiculous. But basically, it's like you hit the sports fans, then you hit the shooter fans, then you hit like WoW is a total mess, and then it's like how many more different genres you gonna hit until the entire community is like we out. And next thing
I
you know,
know.
we're only playing indie games.
Oh
It's gonna be
man,
crazy.
dude.
Could be crazy.
I almost hope to see just a boycott. It'd be the best, That's
Oh
probably the
yeah.
only way we'd see serious change, honestly, at this rate. Unfortunate, man.
I mean, yeah. I don't play game like I stopped playing games when they first come out now. Like
Yeah.
that's my new rule. It's like I'm not buying the game when it comes out. I no longer do pre-orders. You remember pre-orders? I used to do pre-orders. No more of that. No. No sir. After Halo 4,
Yeah.
not since. But
Oh man.
yeah. I'm getting sidetracked here.
Yeah, we
Just
are.
QA testers getting paid is awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's all it really
Definitely.
comes down to.
You know what else is awesome? You just gave me such a good
Yeah, hit me
segue,
with
baby.
it. Hit me with it.
Unreal. Epic launches Unreal Engine 5. Same tool behind that impressive Matrix demo you saw last year, and many more demos. Not just that one, but yeah. Epic has officially, after nearly 2 years after it was first announced, Epic released its next-gen game engine. As part of the State of Unreal event earlier this week, the company revealed that Unreal Engine 5 is now available to download. Oh, rejoice. Rejoice.
Indie devs. Let's go.
Oh, let's go, indie devs. Let's go. Just devs in general. Um,
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, CD Projekt Red, they confirmed that they're actually using Unreal Engine 5 for the next Witcher. So that's another
Yeah, they
big
did.
title coming
Yeah,
up. There's not. I don't know what to say. Like the amount of opportunities that are going to be of just like insanely realistic games that are about to come out in the next few years is it's unprecedented. We haven't seen this level of fidelity that's about to come out of this. It's crazy, man.
yeah, it's insane. I think for everybody that's listening right now, whatever you're doing, stop what you're doing and just YouTube Unreal Engine 5 demo. Okay? And click the newest video. It doesn't matter what it is, just click it and then try to find footage
You know,
because this stuff is insane.
we have some of this
It's
footage.
so sick. We do.
I
But
have
this
some of
is
this footage right now. This is a
yeah, this is
demo that came out very recently, and it's kind of just it's a 1 minute kind of like workshop, just like you kind of see everything in this that you're seeing right now is in engine. It looks real.
it looks real.
It looks real. You know,
It's so detailed.
look at the metal. Look at the wood.
My,
Look at
my
the
God,
rust. Look at the
game.
wood shavings. Look at this. The nails. Dude,
Somebody come look at this.
Someone come look at this. I mean, dude.
Bro, game files are about to be 2 terabytes. There's gonna be so much detail.
Oh,
Jeez.
dude. You're gonna see the requirement shoot up for space.
Oh my
But
God.
it's just gonna be worth it though, dude. Like, this
Call of
is
Duty about to be 500 gigs.
this is just one example. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Game Ranks, they kind of
Yes.
showed some of the
that,
unreal,
dude.
dare I say, demos that have come
Yeah.
out over the past
Yeah, his video is what do you say? It's the top 10
yeah,
most
10
realistic.
realistic Unreal Engine 5 demos that show the
Yeah.
future of graphics. Just like, I mean, the video is like 12 minutes of just like graphics. Yeah. It's just, and a lot of it just looks so good, kind of just showing
It's wild.
yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, okay, this is not anyway. There's, I mean, just you don't even have to watch this video. You could just go on and find like just all the demos that just the short like 1 minute demos of different kind of scenarios and you just see. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, I mean, just and they even show kind of some of the development on the development side, kind of how it looks whenever they're actually building some of these worlds. I mean, I don't know, I'm speechless. Looks amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's so good that it looks like it could be rendered and set up for a movie.
I know.
Like a big blockbuster movie theater. And we're about to get this in gaming, bro. We're in that stage where we're gonna have to alter like the way graphics are so that it's not like as similar. Like we don't get confused with what's reality and what's not.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
Yeah, this is one step closer to that. I was just thinking, my mind immediately goes to the world of VR whenever Unreal Engine 5 is integrated.
Dude.
I mean, I'm
Bro,
scared. I'm
it's
just
the
gonna say it.
Matrix.
Like, I'm scared, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah. I
gonna
mean,
get
we've
crazy.
gone. I don't want to go down the conspiracy rat hole, but we've gone too far at this point. We might as well just go all the way. I mean, I'm a pretty full throttle person. Either we don't do it at all, or we just go all the way. And I'm at the point like, plug me up into the microchip, dude. Let's just plug into the Matrix, okay? Let's let it go.
Give me the neural link. I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah. Just let me know I'm in the Matrix, so maybe I can become Neo. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to manipulate it. So,
Oh,
I mean, dude, like.
look at this.
The only other time where I felt like I saw graphics that stepped forward in a gaming sense that I was just immediately like, holy crap, was either that Annie like Civilization like Annie 1880 or whatever the heck it's
Oh
called.
yeah, I forget what it's called.
Those
Yeah, I know what it's
graphics were insane.
Yeah.
But the other one was actually Lara Croft's Tomb Raider.
Mhm.
And I think it was The Rise of the Tomb Raider when she's like the opening scene when you're walking up and hiking the mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I saw that like on the Xbox One and I'm like, my mind's melted. I was like, holy crap, this is sick.
I know.
And that was like 2015.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Like another side note too, when you go back and play the old games that you played when you were a kid, and you realize like you're just how just jaded you are now that with these good graphics, like, you go back and it's just like it looks terrible. It's like I thought this
Oh
was like
yeah,
way better. At least I remember it being way better.
yeah. Dude, you know this. I still play Halo 2. That's from like 2005.
Yeah,
It's like, but when I go back and play it, I'm like, yeah, I know the graphics aren't that good, but it's like I play for the game itself. You know,
yeah, definitely.
I think if you go back to a game, you don't care about the graphics really,
Oh yeah, definitely
but you
not.
definitely notice it. You
Oh yeah,
definitely notice it.
yeah. You can't help but notice it.
So,
Dude, snow. They showed snow. It looks so good, dude.
look at the rain
Right now. I mean, that looks like a real rock to me, Mike. You know? I don't know.
on it, dude. I'm not like artists. There's gonna be like professional artists getting into the scene for sure. If they're like, I know they're graphic designers and stuff like that, but I'm talking about like just it just gonna bring so many people to the industry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you need people to like make this detailed. At this point, it's literally gonna be the artistry that's in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't. I think I've heard of rumors too of like a Rocket League
There's Tomb
2.
Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider. Oh no, this is the this actually isn't Tomb Raider. This was a demo that they did of Unreal Engine 5, and everyone like
Mhm.
thought it. I think everyone at first was like, "Oh, is this like Tomb Raider?" But like it wasn't. It was just a demo they did. Um, but like, anyways, back to my point. So Rocket League 2, I think there's rumors that they're working on it, and they're trying to do Unreal Engine 5 for Rocket League. Could you imagine that? That'd be crazy. Oh
So, I was playing Rocket League last night with Nick, and that it the graphics, like, I immediately commented they didn't update that I hadn't played in a while, first of all, but they had, like, new maps in there, and, like, I was looking up past, like, the arena that you're in,
yeah,
and, like, just looking at the actual outscope of the map, and it was like, "Holy crap, these graphics are sick." It's,
yeah,
like, really good. It's like I'm getting unlimited frames here. It's crazy.
yeah.
It's like they know what they're doing, so if they're using like, Unreal 5, bro, like, what are we gonna I'm just gonna drive a real car at this point, like
Oh, could you imagine like first person Rocket League in VR? You're just like spinning and dude, there'd be so many people puking.
Yeah, you're gonna get nauseous immediately, for
Yeah.
sure.
Immediately, dude.
That looks like a real city!
It does, dude. Oh man.
Yeah, but sorry for the listeners, we're probably not really we're just, like
We're not doing the visuals justice. What I'm saying
yeah,
is
we're really not.
whenever you're
It's
safe or you have
incredible.
a chance, go on YouTube and just look up a bunch of Unreal Engine 5 stuff. You'll be mind blown.
Yeah. And
Um,
I'm gonna say this just because some people don't know this, I'm surprised, Epic Games, same people that made Fortnite and Gears of War.
yeah.
So, they got the money, they got the backing, they're prestigious, like
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. I mean, they had the money before they did those games too, because they just developed Unreal Engine. Like, and a lot of people in the industry use it. So it's like
yeah,
they had the money there, and now that they got those games, it's probably Fortnite's probably making more money than Unreal ever did. Like, it's crazy to think
ton,
about.
yeah,
Like,
true.
crazy. The last little thing I want to show. Mike linked this earlier today in a group chat.
Yes.
Of this guy in Unreal Engine 5 flying through a city, and it's Twitter, so the compression's kind of like crap, but like
It's
it
so
still
trash,
looks
but it
so
still looks
good.
amazing.
Oh, dude, it's just like, oh man, it's just like 12 seconds. That's it. It's just like such a short clip, but you're just flying through this lifelike city. Oh god, it just like this stuff right here and how quick this like rendered and whatnot. It's like, dude, it's gonna be so good.
I'm so excited for the future of gaming, man.
I am too, man. So
Like,
excited.
people say, like, the gaming industry's down, it's like, you're just looking at the wrong thing. You're just
Really
looking
are,
at your
man.
own, like, microcosm of the community that you're a part of, dude. You need to branch out.
Yeah.
Like, there are
Uh,
other options out here for you.
I know. There's so many people just being like, "Oh, I just don't like the state of gaming," or like, I just not that fun for me anymore. I don't like get like, I'm just thinking about doing other things." But then it's like, dude, just look at the most recent news and look
Yeah,
at all just pay attention to the upcoming stuff because there really is a lot of good stuff coming out. Um,
really is.
just the next few years of gaming is going to be so interesting with new engines, with more realistic graphics, with the consoles especially pushing the graphical fidelity to like its limits on these things is going to be
Mhm.
so like interesting to watch.
The
Oh man, it's
hardware
just like,
across the board is getting better too.
yeah, like dude,
Across the board.
new GPU is going to launch this year along with these new insane like CPUs that are launching from Intel. AMD, it's like,
Bro, even
crazy.
even as simple as like peripherals, dude. Like the sound in the games are getting better.
Yeah, I know.
Like, like just get better headphones too, man. Like,
Yeah,
like I don't know what to tell you. Get off your TV and get on a monitor.
yeah,
Okay.
for real.
I mean, that's just a side note, but just like there's so many things that are going on with gaming that make everything more affordable. It just like it gives people an open space to create more things, not just like the big devs, which is why we keep concentrating on the indie devs so much. It's like
Yeah,
they're talented people out here with new ideas coming in, and it's like this is an awesome time to be a gamer, dude.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I would implore everyone at some point, just like download an indie game. I mean, it's. I know in the moment it's kind of like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy this, but I swear, like every time I've played an indie game, especially recently, like when I was like playing that Unrail like game where you're kind of building the track as you go, that's like a co-op game that you could just get some buddies and like you get
Yeah.
lost in it so fast, and it's like it's such a fun like it's a small game too. Doesn't take a insane PC to run. Like it's very like blocky graphics, so it's like it's not hard to run. You can get hours and hours of fun out of that, and there's a lot of that in the indie space. Just download a game, give it a try. Pick a genre you like, download something. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It'll exceed expectations more than likely. And even if it's bad, like it's still a fun experience. Like like I play bad games
Yeah.
and it's just fun to just sit there and laugh at it, you know? Mm.
Yeah, it's like watching a bad movie.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just like, yeah, just enjoy it for
Um,
what it is, man. It's not that serious.
yeah. But yeah, I mean
Like,
if you're down on gaming or you think gaming's not in a good state, man, just branch out. Play something else and you'll fall in love with gaming again some way or another.
yeah, I seriously have like speaking of that, I'm thinking of games that I've recently played, like that that have recently caught my interest and like kept it for a while. Bro, Spellbreak being one. A lot of
Yeah.
people
Oh
don't
yeah.
even know what Spellbreak is. Indie battle royale game, super fun. If you've ever played like or watched, not played, if you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender or Korra, Legend of Korra, like that Nintendo I can't say anime cartoon series. It's like they kind of take elements from that, put it into a battle royale. It's like anybody that has watched that show and likes it is gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna look up Spellbreak now. You
Yeah.
know, Maneater I brought up. I mean, dude, Maneater's insane. You play as a shark flipping around. It's so cool. I told you about Century Age of Ashes where I'm playing as a dragon. It's a pilot simulator. Like these are games that I'm absolutely having a great time with, and they're all indie devs.
Yeah.
It's like you can
Yeah.
find them. Possible.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You can for sure find them. But I think it'd be helpful if the listeners could know what they could possibly find this month in terms of new games, Mike.
I'm dude. Your segues are on point.
I'm
Okay,
so good at this.
so
I have to say it.
let's
Sorry.
uh let's do this. How about you look up Serpent Rogue for me on YouTube while I start talking about these.
Serpent?
The Serpent Rogue. Check your DMs real quick, Mr. Kyle.
Let's see.
So right off the bat, today at the time of this recording, you guys are gonna hear this on April 8th. We're recording on the Thursday, April 7th, 2022. So April 5th, 2 days ago, we had Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga that is coming out on PlayStation 4, PS5, Switch, Xbox, and PC. The other one that came out the same day, April 5th, is MLB The Show 2022. And everybody knows what MLB is. That's kind of self explanatory. That is coming out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Switch, and Xbox. There is a remake also of Chrono Cross. It's a role playing game, adventure game developed by Square Enix. Same people that did Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, I believe, right?
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. And Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition, the remake, April 7th. That actually came out today. So when you hear this, it's available now, along with the other two. And that's on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Switch, Xbox, and PC. And the game that I asked the viewers, specifically Kyle, to pull up for the YouTube viewers is The Serpent Rogue. And that is a botanical action adventure RPG game set in a medieval fantasy world. It is a master of the art of alchemy, and you can explore forgotten lands, you can tame wild beasts, and protect the realm from impending disaster. And that game is on PlayStation 4, 5, Switch, and PC. So not on Xbox. At least I didn't see it on Xbox. And the reason why I wanted to bring this one up is just like it's by a developer I don't think I've even heard of before. Um, Let me double check while I confirm that for us. But I thought it looked really cool. I basically came across the trailer. It looked really interesting. And I thought this might be something new and interesting for people that are just like, they like the RPG genre. And I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Sengi Games or Team 17 Digital.
Yeah. Looks very cool.
Have you heard of either one of those devs before?
I have not. It's new to me.
Yeah, so the developer is Sengi Games. Let's see if they're headquartered in the Ukraine. Okay.
Ah.
Please support. I don't know what your political beliefs are.
Mhm.
Let's not get into that. That's not the show for it. Team 17 Group is a British video game developer. So this guy is they're pretty big. They've been around since December of 1990, and they are actually on the stock market, the British one. So
Ah.
they've been around for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the graphics looked really interesting. It kind of gave me a Legend of Zelda vibe, which
Oh
is
yeah.
why I wanted to show it. It's like the graphics are kind of set up that kind of way.
Yeah. That kind of
Um,
Breath of the Wild
yeah, Breath
style.
of the Wild be a good example of it, or Skyward Sword even.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And yeah, it just it caught my interest. I thought it looks promising. Is what I
Yeah.
should say.
Yeah. Very interesting. I've certainly never heard of the devs, and it seems like overall it's kind of a fun little adventure game, man.
Yep. And that is coming out April 26th. It seems to have a lot of hype behind it.
Mm.
And the other game that we have been hyping up nonstop, April 29th, Nintendo Switch Sports. So I'm getting that for sure. I'm actually thinking about streaming it. And you got a Switch too, don't you?
I do. I do have a Switch.
Dude, yeah, we should try to figure out a co-stream out.
Yeah, something like that. I'd love to do that. I think that weekend I will certainly be in KC, but I was
That's right.
either myself or some of the people I'm going with. I think we're gonna bring a Switch, at least one of us, because
You
we
should.
definitely want to
Yeah.
play it, like even when we're there. So we may even, if we can find some good internet too, hey, we can maybe even play launch weekend at some point while we're there. A lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we'll definitely be bringing some controllers and a Switch or two. So
Yep. But going back to the release dates, I mean, those are pretty much the main games that I saw that I wanted to bring up. There are definitely more coming out on all platforms. Just those were the main ones that I think would be of most interest to people listening to us.
yeah,
So,
I agree. Agree.
yes, sir.
Lots to look forward to, man. Seems like a decent little month.
Yeah.
End of the month is what I'm waiting for, So I
Yeah,
gotta
I
say,
know.
Switch Sports, So that's my biggest interest this month. I'm being honest, but
I hope there's a Switch esports scene come out
could you imagine, dude? Competitive
for us.
bowling. Oh,
God, that'd
dude,
be so
especially with the
sick.
obstacles, it'd be so toxic. It'd be so good.
When does Mario Strikers come out? That's the real one I want to see. Mario
I want to say
Strikers.
June, but yeah, confirm that real quick.
Oh, come on, don't hit me like this. Do me like that.
Just doing this man like that.
June 10th. Okay.
Ah,
So if you're in America, go to your nearest Walmart, Target, get yourself a Nintendo Switch. They're pretty cheap. Sort of. I don't know.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're afford save up. You can make it happen.
Yeah. They're no
And
PS5.
skip
Let's
it.
put it that way. It's not that
Yeah, I mean,
expensive.
yeah, like just skip a meal or two. I don't know what you're living on, but you got time, basically. Is what I'm saying. You got till June 10th until it pops off. Okay.
Dude,
Yeah,
man.
but yeah, overall, I feel like it was a good week, and I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah, I'm out of stories, man. I'm out this week until
Yeah,
next. I'm
yeah.
dry, dude.
Until the next week. Well, without further ado, episode 12. 12,
Sir.
not 11. 12. Thank you for the correction earlier. And I'm your host, Michael Anthony. Mr. Co-host,
Kyle,
Mr.
that's me.
J.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
me.
Find all the socials in the link in the description below.
And all the
Uh,
stories. You already know.
yeah, and all the stories. That's the big thing. So, oh yeah. Side note: in the last week, we've actually created a second YouTube channel
Mm.
that was entirely for clips.
Oh
So we're
yeah.
doing YouTube shorts. We're doing like small segments. We understand that basically our episodes are going about an hour on average. So we are taking some segments that we find the most important, most let's say time relevant. Like we can kind of post it and you can come back to it later. It's always going to be what am I looking for? Evergreen content.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
evergreen content. So
Timeless.
timeless content. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. It's also, if you're watching on YouTube, it's also connected to the regular YouTube channel for the full episodes. It's called M2 Podcast Clips.
Yep.
So that will also be in the description now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely check it out. We will be posting weekly on this. I'm definitely gonna try and get at least 1 or 2 segments up a week, and then some short content, including some never before seen M2 podcasts, just golden clips that that we do either before or after the show. So
yep,
you certainly don't want to miss that. We're definitely we do some interesting things to warm up, and we try to get funny with it sometimes. So
yeah, just a good old time.
definitely drop us out to the Clips channel. There's a lot of good content we're gonna be uploading there, and it'll be the place to see the hot stories and even hotter shorts, if I do say so myself. You know.
Am I right? As I wear shorts, yeah. But they're getting warm, baby. All right, without further ado, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.
Yep. Thanks for listening,
Peace.
everyone. Peace.
Bye.